Howdy guys, how's it going? So if you haven't watched the last video, you wouldn't know that we've got the Marksman rifles all gold, which means we now have them diamond. So I have spent a hot minute working on and with each one of the three Marksman rifles that we have here in the start of Call of Duty Vanguard. So we got the M1 Grand, we got the SVT 40, and then the G43. So since I've been working on them, doing the class setups, I've had some of you ask me, like, which one do I think is the best? Which one is my favorite? And that's what we're going to talk about, plus a few little highlights of each one. I'm going to try to make this short and sweet. But let's start with the M1 Grand. So as it says right there, versatile rifle offering effective accuracy and stopping power at all ranges. And that couldn't be any closer to the truth. So you do have multiple options with this thing whenever it comes to ammunition, like the ammunition types. The 30-06, sticking with that is your best bet altogether, because the only other two options is, smaller caliber ammunition. And with the M1 Grand, considering its fire rate, you're going to want to stick with the 30-06. Obviously, like when you go to the 6.5, you get a boost in the fire rate along with a boost in the fire rate with the 303, but it doesn't really add up, and you're better off the 30-06 because you end up getting a lot more one-shot headshots with that. Now, if you want to look, if you want to know about the actual class setups that I prefer for each one of these weapons, just look them up individually on my channel, or if you're seeing this when it drops or around that time, then it'll be one of the more recent videos regardless. So the M1 Grand, since we're just going down the list, I'm going to tell you it's really a close tie for first place with me. But I have to say and be honest, the G43 is probably my favorite. And then following right behind it with just that close, just 0.5 away from tying with it, would be the M1 Grand. I just really love the G43 for its fire rate, the fact that we can take and throw on the 20-round magazine of its standard ammunition. We can also go to 30-06, and it hits hard, but I would rather have the M1 rocking the 30-06 rounds just because of the feel of the weapon and the accuracy. But once you take and get this thing dialed in, get used to using it, it feels like you've got. I'm just thinking of things to compare it to video game wise, not like IRL, but video game wise, it really feels like the way that some of the past FALs felt in like Black Ops 2, and we. And let's see, we got the Black Ops 2 with FAL, the Black Ops 1 FAL. They just all had that really good, no real trigger cap feel to them. And that's what I get with the G43, and that's why I really, really enjoy using it. But it kind of caps out at the medium range point. You can, you can body people across the map with it once you get a good feel for it, and you learn how to control, how fast you try to fire the thing at distance versus close range. But the G43 has to be my favorite. And then in third, not because it's bad or it's definitely not ugly. I really like how all these things look IRL, and I mean, they're based off the IRL version. So they look good the way they are. But no, so the SVT, it could easily be put into the sniper category, and I mentioned that in the SVT 40 class setup video, which was the one right before this video drops. And it, once you have it set up the right way, it just drops people like one hit 90% of the time, as long as you kind of hit them from the nipples up. And then if you slam somebody in the head with this thing, they're done all day, every day. And then just like with the M1, if you throw on the 303 or you throw on the 6.5 rounds, then you do get you get a big boost in your fire rate. So, it kind of equals out, but once again, you're better off sticking with the respective rounds that are that are the default for these rifles. And other than, whenever you're doing the camo challenges, if you're doing the camo challenges, because it just doesn't even make sense, because there's kind of more drawbacks in using those alternative ammunition types with with the other weapons. At least from my experience in game, if you're seeing this 6 months from whenever this is made and they've made buffs or nerfs or whatever, then that could completely change things. But this is just going off of the current, the current atmosphere, the current feel of the game, and my experience with these 3 marksman rifles thus far. So there's not really a lot more to say about that. I touch on each gun in more detail in the actual class setup video. So if you want to know more about that, then, just go check those out. But at the end of the day, I have to give the G43 my number 1. And I really wanted it to be the M1 Garand because the M1 Garand is a favorite weapon of mine. It looks super sexy. It's so iconic as far as, military rifles go. And it was, a big deal back when the gun dropped anyways. And that's why it was a service rifle for the amount of time that it was. But, there's not a lot more, I can say about these 3 rifles, but, marksman rifles in this game. So look, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Be sure to let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments section. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you want to share your friends. Check the link in the description of my other channels. Check the links to my other channels down in the description. And my mic stand is just, I forgot to tighten it. It's just been slowly getting higher and higher this whole time. But yeah, guys, look, until the next one, adios.